Well, I don't think Mrs. Pink is going to be in business for very much longer. She has to pay in money every month to make her business work, and she's not getting any salary at all. Now, can you give us some advice? What can she do to make a profit? Well, she's got 2 shop assistants and she only has 35 clients. Do you think she needs 2 people? No, I think 1 person will be enough, and then she can cut her expenses by 3,000 Rand a month. That should help. Now, you've discovered that Mrs. Green only had 6,000 Rand a month coming in. Mrs. Pink, on the other hand, had 7,875 Rand coming in. So, although Mrs. Pink had more money coming in, she wasn't making any profit. So, you can only say if a business is making profit if you look at the expenses you also need to pay out. So, it doesn't matter how much you're getting in, it also matters how much you're paying out. Now, you get to determine if some businesses are making profit or loss. And if they're making a loss, why don't you give them some advice on how they can turn their business around and start making profit? Try activity 1 in your workbook. I hope that was fun. Now it's time to go back to Asanda and see if the learners have any more questions about profit and loss.
Well, thanks a lot for all your help, guys. Next up, I've got Brittany. Brittany, how are you doing?
I'm fine, you.
I'm very good, thank you. So, Brittany, can you sing?
No.
You can't sing. What can you do?
I can play hockey.
You can play hockey. All right. So you're thinking of going professional in the hockey, maybe?
Yes, I'm captain this year.
You're captain this year. Nice stuff. Okay, Brittany, so why don't you go ahead and ask your question for us?
How can I calculate profit or loss?
Well, if you're going to go professional, you need to know these things. Hey, guys, how can you do that?
Well, in the previous activity, we looked at to see if the business is making profit or loss. We took the income, we subtracted the expenses. What are we going to do now? We're going to calculate how much profit and how much loss they are making. Now, there's a formula to calculate how much profit we are making, and that formula is profit is equal to your income minus your expenses. We also have a formula for calculating loss. And to calculate loss, we say loss is equal to expenses minus your income. Now let's go back to our example of Mrs. Green. Remember, she made a profit. Let's go calculate exactly how much profit did she make. Here we worked out her income and her expenses. Her income was 6,000 Rand, her expenses 5,150. Let's use our formula and calculate exactly what her profit is. Our definition tells us profit is equal to her income minus the expenses. Now we said her income was 6,000 Rand and her expenses, can you remember? 5,150. Well, that leaves us with a total profit of, work it out, yes, 850 Rand. Not a huge profit, but a profit indeed. Now let's look at Mrs. Pink's nail boutique. Can you remember she was running at a loss? So let's calculate exactly how big her loss is every month. Now this was the example we looked at Mrs. Pink's nail boutique. We found her income 7,875 Rand. Not a bad income. However, the expenses was 8,450 Rand. Now let's use that to calculate her loss. Now can you remember we said loss is equal to your expenses, because they're more than your income, minus your income. Now in her case, her expenses Oh, it was a lot. Remember those salaries? 8,450 rand. And she had an income of 7,875 rand. Let's use our calculator to determine exactly how much money is she losing every month. We have 8,450 rand, and we are subtracting 7,875 rand. A loss of 575 rand every month. 575 rand. What does this mean? It means that poor Mrs. Pink has to pay 575 rand every month just to keep her business going. And she's got no salary yet. Now I want you to calculate what is the profit and the loss the businesses are making. Enjoy the activity. That was a lot of fun, I'm sure.